This is no coincidence. This is the waning full moon in Aries, and it has come to test your soul. God is watching the chosen ones, those who have already awakened to their spiritual mission, and today's energy is the testing ground. In 2 days, this frequency will begin to fade, and if you miss this moment, you could enter a cycle of guilt and loneliness that doesn't belong to you. That's why, in this video, I will reveal why this moon marks a crucial moment to learn the mastery of spiritual energy within the emotional field, how honesty can heal, but only when tempered with gentleness, and the final ritual to neutralize destructive impulses and align yourself with God's plan for your journey. Stay until the end, because there lies the key that will explain why you've been feeling so different these past few days. There's a difference between expressing your truth and unleashing your rage. When you suppress your feelings for too long, they don't disappear, they ferment. And when they finally surface, it's rarely with the grace you intended. This moon in Aries awakens your fire, but without presence, that fire becomes destruction. Love isn't a battlefield, it's a space for conscious honesty. You've told yourself, "At least I'm being real," when in truth, you were being reactive. The pain doesn't come from your truth, but from the way it's delivered, sharp, sudden, and unfiltered. And then you wonder why your partner shuts down or walks away. Maybe they didn't fear what you felt, but how violently it came out. Emotional bombs don't build intimacy. They destroy safety. This moment asks you to stop confusing silence with maturity and eruption with authenticity. The real invitation here is presence, staying with what you feel long enough to understand it before you spill it. Let your fire be warm, not scorching. Let your truth be a bridge, not a blade. The world doesn't need more people yelling. It needs more people listening to themselves first. Aries brings the courage to speak, but now it also asks for the wisdom to pause. You can say everything you need to say without raising your voice. You can stand your ground without burning it. Love doesn't grow in the fire of reactivity. It grows in the quiet power of those who choose awareness over impulse. This is not about silence. It's about sacred expression. Maybe you were taught to stay quiet, to avoid conflict, to keep the peace, to swallow your needs in the name of harmony. But repression is not peace. It's a ticking emotional clock. And when it goes off, it's not just your truth that erupts. It's every unmet need, every unsaid word, every past wound asking to be heard all at once. No wonder it comes out as fire. This moon phase doesn't judge your feelings. It simply asks you to own them before they own you. There's power in naming what you feel as it arises, with clarity and calm. It doesn't make you weak. It makes you whole. Your inner child may want to scream, but your wiser self knows. There's a better way to speak your truth, one that actually leads to connection. When you explode, what you're really saying is, "Please see me. Please hear me." But the delivery creates distance instead of closeness. What if your voice could become a source of healing instead of harm? What if your words became soft anchors in the storm, rather than thunder that drives love away? Rewriting this pattern starts with one decision: stay present. Aries brings heat, but you get to choose how to use it. Burn bridges or light candles. Destroy what matters or warm the spaces that need love. Speaking your truth doesn't have to mean losing control. It can mean finally taking responsibility for how you show up, not just in anger, but in love. Because real presence begins where the explosions end. You've been told to just be honest. And yes, truth matters, but so does the way it's delivered. Saying everything that crosses your mind, without awareness, isn't transparency. It's reaction. It may feel satisfying in the moment, but it often leaves behind a trail of hurt that takes time to repair. Love doesn't grow in burned-out fields. True communication is not just about expression. It's about timing, tone, and intention. This moon in Aries lights up the desire to say it like it is, but maturity invites us to pause, to ask, is this truth healing, or is it simply releasing my frustration? brutal honesty is still brutality. And if love is your goal, then tenderness must walk alongside truth. You may think your partner can handle it, that they should know how you are, but no one thrives under verbal storms. Your power lies in creating a space where both of you feel safe to share, not cornered into defense. Words are spells, and you're casting them constantly. Choose ones that open, rather than close, the heart you're trying to reach. The full moon wanes, asking for release, of tempers, of sharp edges, of the myth that love survives without grace. This is not about censoring your truth. It's about elevating it. Because real strength is not shouting louder. It's choosing presence over power, softness over dominance, love over being right. Speak to build, not to break. Not every thought needs a microphone. Not every truth must be handed over raw. When sincerity forgets compassion, it turns into emotional discharge, more about unloading than connecting. The waning moon in Aries urges you to examine not just what you say, but why and how. A moment of unfiltered expression can cost days of silence and emotional distance. Yes, you value honesty, but are you using it as a weapon or a bridge? There's a sacred difference between speaking your truth and spitting your pain. One brings closeness, the other builds walls. Aries energy may crave directness, but even fire can warm or burn depending on how it's channeled. Let your courage serve connection, not destruction. You might believe, at least I'm being real. But being real doesn't mean being ruthless. You can name your needs, express your anger, share your truth, and still do it with care. The maturity you seek in love requires emotional stewardship, managing your fire so it lights the way, not scorches the path. Your words can be honest and gentle. This phase is a threshold, a point where passion can either evolve or explode. If you've been saying, "I'm just being myself," while watching someone you love shut down, it's time to rethink what self-expression really means. Real love asks for brave honesty, not loud eruptions. The difference is presence, and presence is always a choice. Everyone wants to feel seen, but few are ready to fully see. In relationships, it's easy to demand space to be yourself while unconsciously denying the other person the same freedom. Aries stirs a deep desire for autonomy, but love isn't about being right. It's about being real. Realness includes humility. Realness includes listening. Presence is not just about being loud, it's about being with. When your emotions flare, do you pause to ask, is this reaction building connection or breaking it? The Aries moon brings heat, but presence requires water, the cooling grace of empathy. You crave a partner who understands you, but understanding is not a one-way street. It is earned through mutual safety, through the soft power of attunement. Love is not a spotlight, it's a shared room. Maybe you're speaking your needs clearly, but your tone is closing doors. Maybe your passion is misread as pressure. These moments reveal what kind of emotional adult you're choosing to be. It's not about silencing yourself. It's about tempering fire with purpose. To be fully known, you must offer the same depth of knowing in return. That's when intimacy starts to root. The moon invites you to revisit the way you show up when you feel most exposed. Do you lash out, retreat, or stay in witness? Presence is not perfection. It's the brave choice to be grounded when your ego wants to flee or fight. If you long for connection that lasts, begin with the small act of staying, especially when every part of you wants to leave. True intimacy isn't found in being heard. It's found in the space you create for others to speak their truth. Many cry out for freedom and love, yet recoil when their partner asks for the same. The Aries moon exposes this tension, a longing to be known, while guarding your walls. But love is not a solo declaration, it's a dialogue. Not me first, but us always. Mutual presence builds sacred ground. Sometimes we confuse emotional honesty with dominance. Speaking your truth does not mean drowning out the truth of others. Aries pushes for rawness, yes, But without reflection, rawness can cut. Emotional maturity is learning to pace your fire, to express without consuming. It's the gentle discipline of knowing when to speak and how. Even the fiercest truths deserve a soft landing. You may say, "This is just how I am." But relationships ask you to evolve beyond old defenses. When your partner feels unseen, do you stay curious or shift the blame? The call now is for accountability that deepens connection, not performance. Drop the armor. Let your openness be the proof of your growth. Empathy is not weakness, it's emotional fluency. This lunar phase asks for one courageous shift. Show up with your full truth and your full compassion. Let go of the urge to win the argument. Focus on winning each other's trust. In the mirror of love, your reactions reveal your readiness. Be the partner who doesn't just feel deeply, but listens deeply, speaks gently, and chooses presence over pride. In love, it's easy to crave validation, to long for someone who just gets you. But deep partnership begins when both people are willing to move beyond their comfort. Your truth matters, yes, but so does theirs. This moon in Aries reminds us that emotional courage includes listening, even when it's inconvenient. The bravest hearts don't just speak. They make room for silence, for nuance, for the in-between. You might be showing up with passion, but is it one-sided? Are you offering the same space you demand? Relationships don't thrive on intensity alone. They flourish with balance. When you're triggered, do you pause, or do you fight to be right? Aries energy can be fiery, but fire can warm or burn. Now is the time to refine your flame, so it brings clarity, not chaos. Think of the last time your partner shared something hard. Did you hear the feeling, or just the words? Did you rush to fix or defend, or lean in, heart first? Emotional maturity is not perfection, it's presence. It's the choice to witness someone else's vulnerability without making it about you. When both people do this, love becomes a sacred mirror, not a battlefield. This cycle invites a new kind of strength, not reactive, but responsive, not armored, but grounded. Drop the script of self-protection. Choose to understand with your full being. Let empathy guide your voice, and softness strengthen your stance. The love you're asking for might begin with the love you're willing to give. Be generous with your listening. It could change everything. We all have moments we wish we could take back. Sharp words said too fast, truths delivered without grace. Under the waning moon in Aries, these patterns come to light. The universe isn't punishing you. It's offering a moment to transform. You're not broken because you failed in love before, but you stay stuck if you repeat the same response when tension rises. Aries brings heat, but this lunar phase softens it into awareness. Now is the time to look honestly at how you've handled emotional pressure. Have you confused emotional honesty with emotional dumping? Have you weaponized truth instead of using it to heal? This is not about self-blame. It's about reclaiming your power by choosing differently. The cycle asks, are you ready to rewrite your response? If you're seeking redemption, it begins in silence, the kind that listens inward. You don't have to say the perfect thing. You don't have to be flawless, but you do need to take responsibility for the impact you've had. Waiting before reacting doesn't mean repressing yourself. It means honoring the relationship more than the temporary satisfaction of being right. True change isn't loud, it's consistent. You may not be able to undo the past, but you can create a new future through new choices. When you pause, breathe, and meet your trigger with presence, you become a safer space for yourself and your partner. This is your invitation to begin again, not by force, but by intention. Let this lunar energy guide you back to the love you still want to build. Growth in love doesn't happen in declarations. It happens in the pause before you speak. The waning moon in Aries invites you to witness your instinct to react and choose something new. You've already seen what happens when you lash out or walk away. This time, what if you stayed? What if you breathed through the discomfort and chose presence over pride? That's where healing begins. This isn't about swallowing your truth. It's about learning to express it with care. Gentleness doesn't make your feelings less valid. It makes them digestible. People shut down when they feel attacked, even if your words are right. Aries gives you passion. The waning moon gives you wisdom. Together, they ask, how can you be real and still be kind? Maybe you've told yourself you're just being honest, but left a trail of wounds behind. Maybe you regret saying things you didn't mean, simply because you didn't wait. The version of you that once erupted doesn't define who you are now. It's okay to apologize. It's okay to ask for another chance. And it's more than okay to forgive yourself for growing late, but still growing. Redemption isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up differently when it matters most. You have that chance now. Start with a small moment, a pause, a breath, a softer tone. Let your actions be the new love letter. The past doesn't own your future, your choices do. And this time, you are choosing from a place of awareness. That's what changes everything. Love isn't a contest of who's louder or quicker to respond. It's a practice of stillness, a sacred space where presence speaks louder than impulse. The waning moon in Aries asks you to transmute fire into foundation, to show up not with fury, but with grounded clarity. When you're always reacting, you miss the invitation to truly connect. The work now is in presence. And presence isn't passive, it's powerful. Sometimes, we mistake action for love, rushing to fix, to prove, to dominate the space. But love, in its highest form, invites us to simply be with the other, to see them, hear them, honor their process. This lunar cycle invites you to release the urgency. Let go of the need to be right or first. There's strength in choosing a gentler rhythm. Aries teaches boldness, yes, but the moon asks for inner peace. In a relationship, being fully present means resisting the urge to armor up. It means softening instead of shutting down. It means letting your guard down not because it's safe, but because it's true. And in that vulnerability, something deeper is born. A love not driven by ego, but nourished by intention. That's what sustains long after the fires cool. So ask yourself, what would it look like to stop reacting and start listening? How much energy would be saved? How much pain prevented if your first response was presence? The moon is waning, yes, but your awareness is waxing. Let this be the moment you begin a new kind of relationship, one rooted not in impulse, but in integrity. Every love story deepens the moment we pause before we speak. The waning moon in Aries doesn't just stir emotions, it exposes patterns. Have you been showing up with intention or reacting out of old wounds? Presence asks for courage, the courage to witness your own triggers and choose a different path. It's not about suppression, it's about conscious transformation. Feel it, name it, and stay. In the fire of conflict, it's tempting to defend, to fight, to prove your truth. But real connection is not built on who speaks loudest. It's built on who stays present when the moment turns uncomfortable. Aries gives the spark, but it's your awareness that determines what you ignite. Will it be war, or will it be wisdom? There is strength in not needing to win every argument. Love matures when we stop performing and start practicing. Practicing patience, empathy, grounded expression. Being doesn't mean silence. It means speaking from a centered place, not a chaotic one. When you ground yourself, your partner feels safe to open to. The most transformative relationships are not made of perfect moments, but of moments bravely held with care and truth. So let this be your reminder. Your presence is a gift, not just when things are easy, but especially when they're not. This moon invites you to embody your higher self, the one who pauses, breathes, and responds with love. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. And from this space, your love becomes a sanctuary, not a battlefield. Sometimes, we think love must be loud to be real, grand gestures, intense conversations, passionate debates. But deep love often speaks in silence, in small actions, in consistent presence. The waning moon in Aries is not about starting wars. It's about finishing cycles. This is a powerful time to release the need to react and instead embody your values and love. What you practice in stillness becomes your strength in the storm. Let your calm be the anchor, not the exception. If your relationship has been strained, this is a window for healing through quiet honesty. Not to fix everything in one talk, but to be fully here. To offer your truth without armor. To listen without planning your defense. Aries can be impatient, but this moon asks for endurance, a slow burn of commitment. Your ability to be, not just react, is a revolution in how you love. Presence is not passive, it is deeply intentional. It means you stay when the discomfort rises. You breathe instead of blame. You look inward before pointing outward. These are sacred practices. They don't just change your relationship, they change who you are within it. This is the foundation of a love that evolves, a love that doesn't just survive conflict, but grows because of it. So ask yourself now, can you be the calm in your connection? Can you meet your partner with gentleness, even when you're burning inside? The full moon wanes, but your power rises when you choose love over reaction. This is the invitation of mature intimacy. Stay, speak with soul, and build a love that's rooted, not rushed.